Hi guys, so we have some follow-up to Jared's news story, Jared's arrest. So we have some good news. Jared has been released from jail yesterday according to some news sources, multiple news sources, especially local news, Fox Austin. So that is good news. He paid his bail, got released. I hope he's doing well now. Whatever it is going on in his life, we don't know. We need to hear from him what exactly happened, but we got more details regarding what actually happened in that bar, especially from Fox News, Fox Austin. They quote the police, they quote eyewitnesses. I doubt this would be fake news. You cannot just quote the police and lie about it. That would be a crime in itself. So I'm gonna read some article about that regarding like details of what happened. But before we get into that, I would like to clarify some points first from my first video. First of all, I've gotten some hate for posting that video, for covering that news story to begin with, when it's all over the news. Literally every news outlet is talking about this. Would you rather someone who's a fan of Jared, who've met Jared, who, you know, is a big fan of Jared, thinks he's a very nice person, to actually put their take on it and see, you know, have some sympathy for Jared, whatever he did? It's not excusable, but at least you talk about the positive things Jared did, whatever could have led him to that. He has a history of depression, mental illness, obviously, so whatever it is going on in his life, we don't know. We just know that he has a history of it, and we should sympathize with that. And whatever it is, it needs to be addressed. Would you rather someone like me talking about it, who've met Jared? Like I said, he's the nicest guy in person. I didn't say anything bad about him in my video. I still won't. So would you rather me covering it or some faceless, nameless news organization just blasting him all over with no context? I think it's better if someone like me talks about it than just some random news outlets just saying Jared's an angry drunk who hit some people, painting him in such a bad light, right? Plus, like I said, I got several requests from fans to actually talk about it. They want to learn about it. They want to see what I think about it. So, yeah, no regrets. I was on your side at first, people saying don't post it. I wasn't going to post it. I got the requests. I thought about it. Well, it's better that I talk about it as a fan of Jared than someone who doesn't like Jared or someone who doesn't even know anything about Jared. I don't know Jared personally. I just know him from cons and the show, just like you guys, and from meeting him briefly in person in 2 different cons. And like I said, I had nothing but a good experience meeting a guy in person. Comes off as the nicest guy possible. So that's as far as the hate goes. It's unreasonable. Don't tell me what to do with my channels, my videos. I'm gonna do what I want. And I promise those fans that asked me to make those videos that I'm gonna make any follow-ups should more news come out, and that's why I'm making that video. The second point I want to clarify, maybe I didn't clarify in the first video, yes, Jared does have a history of depression. He had a lot of issues in the past. He's been very vocal about it. He made Always Keep Fighting campaign to help fellow fans with that issue. Very admirable. So he deserves nothing but support in his issues, whatever he's going through. It's not an excuse for assaulting someone, obviously, but it is somewhat a look into his mental state, whatever causes him to do that. Some fans even suggested that the show ending being hard on him. He's a very sensitive guy, obviously keeps getting emotional about the show ending. Sure, a lot of factors could have gotten into that. We don't really know, so we cannot assume anything. We'll just cover the story, see what the news got from the cops, got from eyewitnesses, and then we're waiting to hear Jared's story. That's all we can do here. Alright, the last point I want to cover before I get into the actual news story. Some fans showed concern about what would happen to Supernatural. It's being filmed in Canada, and Canada could deny access to Jared back to Canada because of the misdemeanor, his charges of 2 assaults and 1 public intoxication. I did not know much about that. I read a little bit about it from some Canadian law firm websites. It is true, they can't deny him access based on even some minor misdemeanors, let alone assault, public intoxication, whatever. Because you kind of have this weird system where they equalize the charge with their own legal system and it can get bigger there, like they take things more seriously in Canada. So that could be a big issue, but there is some hope that this can all blow over, and even if he was really convicted of anything, because a charge is just accusation, no convictions yet, but if he was convicted or charged or anything and that could affect his entry, there are exceptions where he can apply for certain permits that could let him back into Canada to finish filming Supernatural. So hopefully that doesn't affect actual filming of the rest of the season. They filmed at least, I would say, half the season so far, episode 9 or 10 right now. Hopefully this wouldn't affect his return and finishing on the show. But obviously my main concern is about Jared, so I didn't talk about Supernatural at all in my first video. But this is to address some of the comments about that on my first video. Alright, now that I clarified all these points, let's get right into the news story for today, guys. Supernatural star Jared Padalecki is charged for assaulting his employees. So again, here is it kind of stated as a fact that he actually owns that place, because there has been speculation that he's part investor. Might he actually be an owner of that club? The incident happened then, that stereotype club. So the news story by Fox Austin, local news, pretty much confirms that. We can read more about that a little bit later. Supernatural star Jared Padalecki assaulted 2 of his employees this past weekend. Padalecki, who plays Sam Winchester on the show opposite Jensen Ackles, was busted by cops with the Austin Police Department in the early morning hours of Sunday, October 27. Padalecki was seen on video obtained by TMZ getting physical on the sidewalk moments leading up to his arrest. And again, that's a link to the video TMZ released. One more point I would like to clarify in that video, the way Jared was kind of like trying to put this guy, supposedly his acquaintance, whatever, according to the initial reports, into some kind of chokehold. One thing, he does not look aggressive at all. First of all, he looks drunk, so that is obvious. Second of all, it does not look aggressive at all. Looks almost like he's play wrestling, kind of like he did with like Ozric Shao a while ago, and he's broke his own shoulder trying to play wrestle behind the scenes with Ozric Shao, who plays Kevin on Supernatural. So he looks almost like he's just playing around with his friend, or whoever this guy is. Let's call him his acquaintance. Obviously, we don't know the full story. The video does not show the full story, but I'm just saying he does not look aggressive at all, for the record here. According to police, officers were called to stereotype bar for disturbance. When officers arrived at the scene, bystanders were pointing at a man later identified as Jared Padalecki and making statements along the lines of, "Take this guy to jail." After speaking with witnesses, police officers identified 2 victims. The victims identified themselves as employees at the bar and stated that Jared Padalecki is the owner of the stereotype bar. So again, this is pretty much quoting the police and the employees saying that he owns the place. He's not just a regular to the place like TMZ initially reported. He is actually an owner of the place, at least according to this police report here. According to the victims, a verbal argument between Jared and people inside the bar had occurred and became physical. The assistant manager of the bar escorted Jared outside, and the 2 became involved in their own verbal argument. So again, they're not telling us what exactly caused the verbal argument. They're just saying that it started as a verbal argument and developed into another verbal argument when he got escorted outside the club by the assistant manager. It became physical between the assistant manager and Jared when Jared kept trying to go back into the bar, according to the police. The second victim, the general manager of the stereotype bar, was working at another establishment when he received a phone call about disturbance involving Jared at the stereotype bar. The general manager arrived to see Jared and assistant manager involved in a physical altercation. So Jared was already fighting with the assistant manager outside, who tried to prevent him to go back inside, continue his verbal argument, whatever that is, when he also got into physical altercation with Jared. That's the general manager here. So that's 2 people. The general manager separated the 2, and the assistant manager re-entered the bar. Jared attempted to enter the bar again and put his hands on a doorman, according to police. Again, quoting the police, not just some random quotations here by Fox News Austin. The general manager pulled Jared off of the doorman, and Jared fell to the ground. When Jared got up, he punched the general manager in the face with a closed fist. And he's showing his mugshot here. He does look pretty wasted, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't look like his normal self. That's obvious for anyone to see. I hope whatever he's going through, he'll be okay, and he's gonna learn from his experience and get better, hopefully. So the article ends with Jared was placed under arrest around 4 a.m. and charged with 2 counts of assault, causing bodily injury, and 1 count of public intoxication. He was released from jail around 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, October 27. So that's yesterday. So again, guys, we got a little more details here of what exactly happened, not why it happened. They didn't tell us why there was an argument, why Jared got mad. What we do know is he does seem drunk in the video. I mean, he does look drunk in his mugshot right here. We don't know why he got mad at those people inside, why he was insisting on going back inside. All we have is those reports to go on. Police reports quoted by Fox News Austin, local news, again, more reliable than any outside news just talking about it. So yeah, I would take their word much more than other news outlets for sure, but we all should reserve judgment till we hear even more details about it. Here's Jared's story. There are 2 sides of the story, obviously, so waiting for Jared's side. Again, I have nothing but positive things to say about the guy, from meeting him in person, watching him conventions, on the show, and all of that. Great guy, great actor. We all make mistakes, obviously. Got drunk, did stupid things. Someone could have provoked him, someone could have hurt him somehow. We don't know. We just know that he's the one who's accused of assault and public intoxication here. And yeah, we're just waiting to hear more news about it. And I just hope that he makes it out of this. His mental health gets better. I hope he's fine. I hope he makes it through. And I hope we hear some good news about him soon. So that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Subscribe for more awesome Spanish content. Till next time, as always, no chick flick moments.
What am I supposed to do? Keep fighting.